The nature of God within Islam is between two extremes. It's between the extreme of negative theology, which imagines a God that's completely indescribable, remote. You can't even talk about it, what it is and what it's not. It exists and doesn't exist, all this sort of nonsense. And the extreme of incarnation, imagining that, God came into earth and was encompassed and alive within this earth and lived like part of the creation. So the concept of God in Islam is in between those two extremes. Okay, we do believe in a dualistic universe. That means that there is a strict binary between creator and created when it comes to essence, being, entity, right? And there is no sort of permeability between those two realms. Okay, by definition, the creator is perfect without any needs, has all these specific attributes that are due only to him. And then the creation is defined by need and defined by contingency and defined by imperfection and finiteness and all these sorts of things. So it is a strict binary. However, that doesn't mean that there is not an intimacy of relationship or activity between the divine and the not divine, or between the creator and the created. When it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge and his activity, his love, his mercy, his goodwill, these are things that permeate the creation. They are baked into the fabric of creation. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creative input, right, or the characteristics, not saying that the entity is found in the creation, but the imprint of that being's activity is found readily in the creation. And so we're between two extremes, right? Again, negative theology, the idea that God, and this came from Neoplatonism and other sorts of traditions, that God is so remote, that it's so ineffable, you can't say anything about him, right? That then we would say, what, you don't believe in anything. You don't believe in a God at all. Such a God is not really a God at all, just an abstraction. God's not just an abstraction. And also on the opposite extreme, incarnation, to imagine that we have to have this incarnate God that walked along the earth with us in human form, that's the only sort of way to focus our devotion and our worship. We also reject that idea out of hand. So the God in Islam, or the conception of Allah, is in between those two extremes.